Everyone, this is Nightshade, and welcome to another, well, technically an Overwatch video. After I had managed to finish up all of the, well, most recently new characters and all characters played, it is time to rank them all. However, I will be obviously splitting them up into tanks, damage, and support. So for today, we'll be ranking the tanks, then the damage, and then the supports, obviously, from S to D rank, how I feel on them personally, and obviously all tier lists are how the person making them feels about the certain thing. So these will be my personal opinion, and if you disagree, you're good to disagree as far as much as you want. I do not care. Your opinion is yours, mine is mine. So the star, well, not really the star show, but the guy starting it off, Winton Monkey. And starting off strong, he is actually pretty good. Because given a decent team with you, a very decent team, he is enough of a distraction and enough, he can basically output minor tick damage, yes, but enough to the point where if you're overwhelming their enemy team's healers, your team can basically just start picking off whoever is the lowest over in the enemy team. It is so easy for Winston to basically just break a team instantly, and the fact that he's so annoying where he can just go in, bubble, and just start ticking damage everywhere, and then just kind of dip out, and the fact that his little jump thing does damage on impact also. It makes him as a very annoying but very good tank nonetheless. I've had a few games with him in ranked, and wow, pretty good, honestly. Very annoying but very effective, and ultimately his team ended up winning, so I gotta give it to him. So yeah, I think Winton is definitely like a, not necessarily maybe a top S, but since he's the only one up there, he's more of like a bottom, because you're gonna find out really quick that he's not gonna be staying in that first position for too much longer. But that's what I think about Winston, though. He's pretty good. He does his job well. He does his job well as a tank, and I respect that. And also because of the memes, Winton. Yes. Anyway, so now we got Zarya, and this is why I said this was not gonna last very long. Because she is, if not one of the best tanks in the game. She dishes out so much damage, and it is so hard to kill her. Especially when she can bubble up her teammates. It makes her attack stronger whenever her bubbles break. Overall, making her a very good tank. And not to mention, she's a diva counter. And that's just funny. Especially if you're in Stadium, if you actually decide to pick Zarya against the diva, which is, I swear, that's what you see half the time nowadays anyway, in Stadium. It's quite funny. There's really nothing wrong with Zarya at this point. Like, there's so much she can do, and there's so little she can't do. But she's more like a bottom S, and I'm gonna show you why exactly. Because now we got Ramatra, and he's just the jack of all trades. I shouldn't even have to say too much about this. He's good at blocking. He's good at dealing damage. He can go through barriers in Nemesis form. He can practically counter anyone. He's like stupidly strong, and it's pretty insane, honestly. So with how strong Ramatra is, there's like no reason you shouldn't be like playing him half the time. Like, I know people got preferences and whatnot, but he'll get the job done as long as you know how to play him well. Nah, don't sleep on the staff, because that thing will hurt. Anyway, so we got Diva. It's hard to say, because, well, while she's good, She also can easily be played incorrectly and overall can get overwhelmed and killed. But in a dive situation where your whole point is to go and shoot down like the medics and whatnot, she's like a solid A. Like, she's pretty good. She gets her job done. The only thing I would have to say is I hate having to look at this when new players play Diva. Half the time, I swear, I kid you not, they don't know how to Diva bomb, and it honestly like hurts my brain to watch. You fly up in the air and you ultimate, and then you have a much higher chance of actually getting some kills. Where if you were to just launch, press Q on the ground, like, yeah, everyone's gonna know the bomb's there, and then they're all gonna run away. Just thinking about that actually makes me so angry. You're going in B tier just because so many people actually just do not understand how to play your character, and it is annoying. Okay, Orisa, next on the list. And this being my main for tanks, maybe a little bit of favoritism, but although I will rank her fairly. And she's going up. Poor Winston. S rank, but falling off pretty quick. Now, Orisa's definitely very good. She is out of, well, yeah, I feel like mostly out of all the well, no, again, that's why I kind of put her below those two. She is the definition of damage output. She can absolutely destroy someone's health in a matter of seconds. But ultimately, because she's not going any higher, is because she's kind of a one-trick pony. Not because she's a horse robot, but don't get me wrong. But you do kind of just have to go in, run in, and just use all your abilities and just wait for them to recharge back. Otherwise, yeah, it kind of sucks. But other than that, if you can just aim and shoot, yeah, no, you're pretty good. And the fact that they gave that, I'm pretty sure she still has her shield instead of her spinning spear. I would argue that spinning spear is somewhat better to keep. But having a shield, you can, like, a Sigma, like, go on one side or another, or a Symmetra wall, go on one side and another, just avoid damage. That's pretty good. So I honestly like how they did her. Roadhog, Fat Piggy. He's getting a solid A tier. Because here's where you can basically implement flanking. You can essentially have 2 damage and 1 medic, and Roadhog and 1 other medic essentially just flank 2 different sides. And it is pretty good since he can just auto heal himself, and, well, he's got like, what, 650 health. So, like, he's already pretty good at his job of not dying. That's why I'm giving him A rank. He's definitely like a top A, if anything. He's just good at his job, and I respect him for it. Alright. It is the hamster. Wrecking Ball. This is kind of rough, because I'm going to argue that for new players, he's very not good, because people are not going to understand how to play him at first. On one hand, though, he is really good at actually capping points and just stalling out games for your team to get back, since he's pretty hard to hit. And he does actually have pretty good damage. But again, I'm going to say that it's kind of hard to play Wrecking Ball, especially if you're a new player. So I'm going to give him a top B at most. Look, dude, you're good. But overall, you take a lot of learning, and ultimately, I'm pretty sure all it would take is a Bastion turret to absolutely destroy you. Alright, Malga. Eh, he's like a solid C at best. Don't get me wrong, he's got good damage. And he can essentially do what Roadhog does and heal himself. But he's so squishy at sometimes, it feels like, because it doesn't take much to just sick him down. And as long as he's not dealing damage, he can't heal himself. And I'm going to do Reinhardt dirty here. But the same as him with his charge, you're easily running in to get yourself killed. And it's the most annoying thing to have to witness. Amalga just running in and thinking he can just solo the fight. No, dude. You need your team for a reason. That's why it's a 5v5. It's so annoying. I'm not saying he's really a bad tank, but in most circumstances, he's getting himself killed. And it's really annoying. Anyway, now I'm done ranting. Sigma, the old man. I'm going to give him like a... Yeah, I'm going to put him in A. Because don't get me wrong, he does decent damage. And his defensive capabilities are pretty good. He more or less can definitely keep himself alive, and his ultimate's definitely pretty fun. But there's definitely the better tanks up there. And overall... Well, I mean, there's really no situation where he's not good, though. He definitely keeps them. You know what? No. He's actually a pretty good tank. He actually can get the job done pretty well. And the one thing he definitely has that's pretty cool about him is that his attacks ricochet off walls and stuff. So you can actually get some pretty precise shots. Yeah, no, I think that's really all that. I think he definitely deserves the A, and that's where he's gonna be put. All right, Hazard. I remember not having a very good time with him, from what I remember. But, like Diva, and I think this is respectable. He is kind of like a dive also, and he's also like a kind of like Mei, where you cut people off from escaping and or / getting heals. He's more of like a hunt them down, hunt down the medics, hunt down the stupid mercies. So yeah, no, while I think he's still somewhat decent, I'm just not a huge fan on like close range characters, unless it's Reaper. Reaper gets a pass because he can just heal himself and he's pretty strong. Like, those shotguns hurt. Okay, yeah, no, you remember when I said I was going to do Reinhardt dirty? I'm doing him extra dirty. Because I will argue, if you were playing back in the day, that Reinhardt was pretty good. But now that it's like, there's just so much stuff that can counter Reinhardt. And I'm going to argue this again. If Reinhardt just dashes in there, he's getting himself killed. I understand there's no greater joy than running into an enemy and then crashing them into a wall and killing them. But then what are you going to do when 4 of the other team are just looking at you? Or 4 enemy teammates, I should say, are looking right at you. And also, a Bastion can destroy your shield. What are you then? You're just sitting there and just soaking up bullets and eventually dying. You need that shield to actually do good as a tank. And if they're playing like this game is about long range, obviously you get that, right? Reiner just really isn't that good anymore. Like, I'm sorry, he's just not good anymore. Like, don't get me wrong, there's some really good Reiner players, especially in Stadium, where he can actually like make a lot of his abilities actually really good. But in the normal like queue and competitive, he really is not all that good anymore. Junker Queen. I'm going to say you're above these two. Again, it's kind of like my hate towards like having to be close range, being able to be within a nice distance and out of having to get too close. And so I don't know what it is about being so close and trying to like shoot people. It's like it's so hard when you're trying to like when they're like jittering all over the place. It just gets so annoying just to try to be able to hit people. So overall, you got a lot of good abilities and you can get back into the fight, speed up your team. Her ultimate, actually no, her ultimate makes it actually kind of better actually, because then it stops everyone's healing. Come on, come on. There we go. Her ultimate actually makes it so much better because then you're going to be more easy to pick people off, and so will your team, and actually take the points. Doomfist. I'm gonna say A, and here's why. Although I would argue he's kind of in the same boat with Wrecking Ball, because Doomfist is so technical and you absolutely need to use his abilities to the utmost and in the most specific points during a battle. But also it's pretty funny to knock people off with your fist, though. That's the funny part. Doomfist is both a really good tank / you could easily get killed while trying to play him. It's like hey look mommy, I'm doing it. Oh, I just flew off the map because I didn't know what I was doing. Like again, yeah, obviously you're gonna play around with the tanks more and get better with them and figure out what works and how to do some more crazy shenanigans. But I think this is more of a respectable place for Doomfist to be in. And making one final check to make sure I didn't like forgettably put a tank down here or something. Nope. Okay. So that was my tier list. I think I was pretty fair to everyone, and I just realized I made an F. Does that mean my tier list fails? Well, anyway, besides all my joking around, that was my tier list. That's how I feel about all the tanks. Next time we'll be doing the damage, because, well, yep, that's what I was going to do. Like and subscribe, hit the notification bell if you want to never miss another video. And with that, I hope you all have a wonderful day.